The rejection of Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election was not just a rejection of the candidate, it was a complete rejection of the modernity of pop culture and the way the liberal media wants the world to go. The fact that this wasn't even close shows how the liberal media has completely lost their grip on what they think people believe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe if you're new and like the video if you enjoyed what I've talked about. Today we're going to be having a look at how the liberal media got this election so wrong and how their celebrity friends were so out of touch with what the masses really felt and what they believed going into this US election. It really feels like the Democrats believed that the Swifties, as well as the fans of seeing Cardi B shake her butt on stage, were going to sway this election against Trump. To give this epic political comeback some context, let's just take things back to about 4 years ago, January 6th, 2021. Joe Biden had just been declared the victor of the 2020 presidential election, and amidst claims that the election was not secure, that there was fraudulent ballots being casted, Trump had organised a rally on the Capitol in solidarity with his base to show that there was many across the country who did not believe this was a fair and right election. These claims had been rejected in the courts, and this rally was a last show of Trump to prove to people across the world that his support was huge and that there were many inhabitants of the USA who did not believe that the 2020 election was fair and Joe Biden had won. The crowd was huge. I don't even think Trump expected the turnout to be so big, especially in a blue state like Washington. But the crowd was there, riled up and ready to take the country back in what they believed to be a rigged election and a plot by the Democrats to get Trump out of office at any cost. The president had urged his protesters to be peaceful and non-violent, but unfortunately, this didn't last long. Many people stormed the Capitol. There wasn't too much resistance from the police force there, but stormed the Capitol they still did. And the rest is history. For weeks, months, and even years, the mainstream media reminded us of this day and would even make you believe that it was Trump himself who stormed the Capitol and attacked police officers. Bear in mind, there was only one death at this incident, and it happened to be a Trump supporter shot by Secret Service. Although it was obviously terrifying for the politicians in attendance that day, as the dust settled, they probably thought Trump had unwillingly given them the ultimate trump card, that such a big story in the news could possibly prevent him from ever having any political power, ever again. Trump's words got twisted out of context, and although he probably shouldn't have organised such a rally and riled up his fan base so much, he ultimately did not organise a coup or an insurrection. It was just a few people at the rally that unfortunately did storm the Capitol and did cause chaos. I would like to just point out that those people that did storm the Capitol were obviously wrong, but they do not represent every Trump supporter in the USA or across the whole world for that matter. This wasn't going to be a conspiracy theory video, but of course there is a possibility that there was agent provocateurs on scene to rile up the fan base even more. 2 weeks later, Joe Biden is sworn in as US President. Obviously Donald Trump did not attend the inauguration. Triumphant in his victory, and with the liberal media on his side and really against Trump after the insurrection, few would believe that in 4 years it would be a complete reversal, that the US electorate would reject Biden and his Vice President Harris, and instead elect the man that the liberal media has hated so much, not just since January 6th, but for his political career, just amplified since January 6th. With the former administration's Operation Warp Speed providing vaccines for COVID all throughout the nation and throughout the world, things seemed to be on the up for Joe Biden in his first days as president. However, things would quickly change, and also with the deterioration of his mental state and his incapability to speak publicly without a teleprompter, and even with a teleprompter making numerous gaffes and falling downstairs and falling on stages, he would soon be the embodiment of weakness. The leaving of Afghanistan is seen as an epic failure by the Biden-Harris administration, leaving many Americans stranded and also leaving billions of military equipment behind for countries like Iran to take over. Unfortunately, this would ultimately lead to Iran generating wealth and terrorist attacks like the one on the festival in Israel seem to be a direct result of the Afghanistan withdrawal. Other problems would start piling up for Joe Biden, such as the economy. Inflation went through the roof as a result of all the money that had been printed, and funds weren't being properly allocated. The average American was spending a lot more on their groceries, and things were really coming to a head. Biden tried to undo a lot of what Trump had done regarding the border and immigration. This resulted in a mass influx of illegal immigrants entering the States, continuing to anger the working class Americans, particularly around the Sun Belt, close to the US southern border. Also, Joe's son, Hunter, had been charged for gun possession. Also, during the election that Joe Biden had won, a story had come out about a laptop that was found belonging to Hunter Biden. This laptop contained videos showing Hunter Biden with prostitutes, as well as using crack cocaine. During the election, mainstream media had painted this laptop as Russian disinformation, claiming that it was a plot to help Trump and to prevent Biden from winning the presidency. These were words parroted by Joe Biden and his campaign. However, as time went by, everyone discovered the laptop was real and it had not come from Russia. Another grave mistake by the liberal media, losing the trust of the public and angering them at lies and the double standard in politics in America. As the years went by, a lot of people forgot about Trump, never mind feared him being their political opponent. Many social media companies had given Trump censorship. They had blacklisted him from their apps, keeping Trump out of touch with his base. Trump had created Truth Social, a social media app that he owns, to keep in touch and to use things like tweeting, basically, the app's equivalent. Many would think that this would be the last of Donald Trump politically. However, this was a mistake. The masses in America did not care for what the media had to tell them about Trump, nor the lies that they had been exposed on recently. The American public decided they had been lied to, and that liberal media should be held accountable. Despite the popularity of Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, it was ultimately decided that Trump will be the nominee, and he has the best chance of winning the presidency in 2024. Joe Biden's decline meant he couldn't see the race out. Up until June, he was the Democratic nominee. But as the weeks went by and after the disastrous debate, it was Kamala Harris in the seat. The debate between Biden and Trump had been an absolute disaster for Joe Biden. He had been protected by the liberal media for so long, and now it was on full show to the world just how incapable of performing live in front of an audience he had become. Shortly after the debate, it was decided that Joe Biden would have to step down, despite him coming out a couple of times saying he's still in the race and he has to get back up and keep going. The rumour is that the elites in the Democrat Party threatened Joe Biden with the 25th Amendment if he was not to step down. He did step down, but ultimately, instantly endorsed Harris to be the nominee, preventing another convention. Nancy Pelosi has recently come out and blamed this as the reason why they didn't have the best candidate for 2024. However, just a couple of weeks ago, she was saying how Harris was going to beat Trump in a landslide. Same as the liberal media, same as the pollsters who always get a Trump election wrong. This is why I made this video, because the news won't tell you this. All of the mainstream media lied to everyone, to their face, about things Trump had done, things Trump had said. Of course Trump had made a few mistakes. No one here is claiming Trump is perfect, but the US electorate gave a middle finger back to the US media to say, we don't care what you think. We don't care what celebrities you get to dance on stage for us. We don't care what Eminem has to say in his billion-dollar mansion. The US electorate showed the whole world that the world is trending to the right. People don't trust the news. People like populism. And people are fed up with wokeism. Who knows what other worldwide elections will tell in the coming years and months. Thanks everybody for watching the video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this and like the video, and comment your thoughts below. Bye.